Okay. So since 27 years, I'm working for Blumer Lehmann in Großau, Switzerland, and we started with a sawmill with a wooden wheel generating electricity and the sawmill. And then a timber construction company came across, or we started doing timber constructions. And today we are a company of 450 people, and still fascinating by doing timber constructions. Not only, of course, the general ones, but the two disciplines we really try to push our modular buildings most standardized as we can, and on the other hand, the freeform timber constructions, which means absolutely prototyping, collaborative working, but also using the digital tools to design build.
Yeah. And I know you've been on some of the coolest projects in the world. What projects are you most proud of that you've been a part of?
I can't answer that question anymore because we did so many very nice projects. Of course, the first clubhouse in South Korea was one unique one because it was the first time we tried to find out how to do these kind of free forms. Just recent projects are, for example, a roof for the Technica Museum in Sweden, which pushed the boundaries in a technical way, that we built something which we never thought was possible to build, for example. Or what we also enjoy at the moment is building some very nice construction in Saudi Arabia, because this we very much like that. Also, countries like the Arabian ones, which don't have any timber, but still are experience this material just because of the sustainability.
Yeah. The freeform architecture is so amazing, and I know you pay attention to sort of like standardization you're mentioning and log utilization, because you look at the whole supply chain and very closely. To some, maybe including myself, it seems like the two aren't balanced. But is there a way to achieve this standardization and the freeform architecture? Because it looks so difficult and complicated, and obviously you find a way to make it achievable and doable.
Yeah, I mean, actually, we learn from each other. So when you try to find out how to standardize a process, or how to build like hopefully every time the same in a certain way, you think in methods and tools. And on the other hand, doing free forms means that you can't build without any IT support anymore, and to learn from these two disciplines, to use the tools right, this is what interests us. I don't know if you yeah, maybe I should explain it a bit better.
No, I think that's totally fine. And I know I'm just following my own brain sometimes like this, but it seems like you've got the both extremes. So you got timber can be suitable for very simple or very, very advanced architecture. Do you think that's where timber sits, that it can do both very well? But if we try and do get the benefits of the beautiful architecture and try and make it cost efficient, are they two opposite things that we need to decide what our goal is and pursue that? Or can we have both efficiency and that architecture as well?
Definitely. I mean, these are just the two extremes. but it shows the possibilities and the variability of the possibilities of timber, lightweight and fast building, fast buildable. So this is like one advantage for a dense urban context. So you bring in most prefabricated constructions to build in an urban context. That's one of the advantages of timber. And on the other hand, all these freeform construction show that timber is a material which is easy to bend, easy to cut, is easy to construct, also to joint, because the carpenters they know how to joint the details, and that makes these fascinating constructions possible. And just a different way of looking at the advantages of timber.
You mentioned it's easy to bend, easy to join. I think for every supplier around the world, for most, it'd be like that's very, very difficult. But I think it's a skill set that your team has learned over time and turned something that's quite complicated and made it simple. So, tell us? I mean, have you got unique manufacturing processes that aren't available in other parts of the supply chain? Is there some sort of unique processes that you have there to enable this?
Definitely, but the first process is, of course, the planning process, and the planning process means a precise, collaborative programming of a model, and programming means the engineer, the architect, the carpenter, also the installations, the information flow into a model which has to be developed together. And then you take all these data of the model and try to use modern tools like CNC machines to bring out these parts. And it's not only one specialist or one explicit know-how. It's the disciplines of all these specialists working on the task to make those kind of buildings possible. And because it's based by a model, those constructions are also more and more payable or more affordable, just because you it's a complicated form, but you find out how to break that down to a IKEA set, like the parts at the end is just a beam, maybe more complicated because you use double or bent glulam timber or other different raw materials, but at the end it's a beam which is sent all over the world.
Yeah. Oh, that's so great. What do you see as sort of the biggest trends in our buildings today, and how can timber help achieve some of these trends?
I see two ones. One is, of course, sustainability, and all these carbon capture, storage, or substitution topics, and timber will play a leading role in this trend of decarbonization. And the other trend is prefabricating. I think building industry has to be a bit more efficient than it was, and maybe a bit more process based. And timber can also be a part of that new world of maybe more productivity in building industry. And with these two trends, I believe that timber constructions are growing bigger, wider, higher. They come back to the cities. They are more and more developed by architects as a playground. and we have to educate also, or we have to bring in know-how, because we are pushing the boundaries as a branch. And yeah, I feel very excited about the times which are coming, but it's going to be a challenge also to fulfill the needs which will be there soon.
And in what way do you see the challenges coming up in terms of fulfilling the needs? Like, what are the big challenges that sort of timber has at the moment?
I think we need engineers which are not only thinking in a structural way, but also understand the mechanism of building physics, acoustics, and understanding the material as it is. And I believe the higher we build, the more responsibility is needed that these buildings are going to last for 200-300 years, and that's know-how about how to construct and how to resolve the details.
Yeah, and durability is obviously the key one there. And I'm not sure about in Switzerland, but sometimes it's not clear whose responsibility that is. And I think in the regulations, it might be the structural engineer, but I don't think every structural engineer learns about durability and moisture and things like that at university. So I don't know if it's the same for you in Switzerland, but I guess you've got a different education program for engineers in Switzerland. I believe it's a bit more hands-on for you, is it? In like you do, how yeah? Can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, so we've got a dual building system. That means that we've got a university way of you can become an engineer by university, but you can also do an apprenticeship as a carpenter, for example, and then do a practical engineering way. Fachhochschule, it's called in German. And those kind of engineers, they have got a lot of practice. And they afterwards are specialized in all these technical skills, structure, acoustics, building physics. And I think it's not only the education, it's also that these engineers are specialized in the material of timber. And this means the backpack of know-how is unique. And that helped a lot because the architects they found specialists for the dialogue. They needed to have the courage also to push the boundaries.
Yeah, that's so good. We've mentioned a little bit about digital tools. How do you see digital design tools updating designs and enabling us to keep pushing the boundaries?
Oh, that's a large question. What do you mean by design tools?
Digital, yeah. So digital software, parametric design tools. I don't know if you're using generative AI or Grasshopper and all these sorts of things that they look really cool. They look awesome. They're so exciting, but then sometimes the practicalities, I guess, yeah, does it result in practicalities that you're actually using for real buildings at the moment?
Yeah, so we say for the geometry of a building, we use grasshoppers and rhino just because it's the most practical way of finding out how to generate a form or a regularity for a free-form construction. Yeah, and we like it very much. So it's a new way of generating form um, on a programmed base. And after that, there are interfaces to bring in all these information into CAD, CAM tools, different strategies of programming, also the machine data, just because every building is so unique that you have to find out what's the approach to bring the data most efficiently on the machine base. And one of our tasks is also some kind of simulation of the production process, just to find out how to use these machines most intelligently, but also most secure. That's also part of our IT cracks, doing the proof of the pudding, whether the machine is crashing or not.
Yeah. And do you like, because you can do the parametric design up front, but then when it comes to factory throughput, does that or what's easy to go from the factory is one thing, and then also what's the highest utilization from a log? There's a lot of information that goes from the front all the way to the whole supply chain. Does that information flow through at the moment, or do you just need some very smart, experienced engineers to understand the whole process from your side there?
Looking at the whole value chain, I think what's perfect for us is that we understand every step of the whole process, but there is no information transfer in between the board and the glue beam, because you don't need this information. But what we see is that one of our tasks is that we always, when we go into other countries, where architects are developing timber constructions, we always have to find out what parts or what supply chain can be organized locally. And there, our know-how about timber industry and about all these kind of projects helps to find out what's the most feasible way to build locally in other countries.
That's great. So what do you see is the buildings of tomorrow looking like moving 10 to 20 years and from now with the different trends? Like what's the perfect scenario for timber of our buildings tomorrow? If we've got a fixed amount of resource, what should that resource sort of like fit into in our future buildings?
I think architects, they should think about constructing timber constructions with products for the forests. That means that the kind of wood and the amount of wood and the quality of the logs will be crucial to have the availability of the volume you're going to need. So it's you, for example, if you would only ask for high quality CLT boards to build that, it would not only be the wrong quality assumption, it would also be maybe too much wood to be brought into the construction, because one of the tasks is also, and that's the second one, to dematerialize constructions a bit, to build them more efficiently, so we don't use too much cubes per power empowerment of the construction. That's one of the future tasks we have to think about, and optimizing yields, so that we when we have a log, that we find out how to use them more intelligent for a long-lasting construction.
Do you see new products evolving in the supply chain? Like CLT, you mentioned one, it uses sawn timber, but different products have different utilization from the log. Do you see there's a lot of innovation still to happen for log utilization when you think about wastage from the CNC machine through to what's designed?
Yeah, that's one of our responsibilities, that we say we've got logs out of the forest, and we should, as a vision, use 100% of the wood for long-lasting projects, and not too much to burn it right from the beginning. And that means also maybe there is for a low quality timber, there is also potential for half finished products like LVL, like small parts brought somehow together. Yeah, that's a potential.
Yeah. Do you have any advice for young people beginning their careers? I'd imagine that the context is quite different today for a lot, and there's a lot of new things happening. Is there any advice that you have for people just starting out?
Of course, packing the backpack with the technical skills, and then please go into a company to just practice also some kind of project management, maybe also practice erection of a timber construction. So you can afterwards bring that back into building concepts which are proved in a practical way. So I can only say very welcome for any Australian just want to do an apprenticeship or experience the European timber construction world, and then go back and do know-how transfer in Australia.
Well, that's a phenomenal offer for anyone young listening. Yeah, I'm sure they'll take you up on that. Well, it's been such a pleasure to speak to you again, Katharina. Can you maybe end on anything that people should go to, any resources or anything people need to learn more if they want to get in touch with you? Where should we point our listeners?
So you can find us under Blumer bindestrich, I don't know the word in English, Lehmann.com. You find any kind of information, but also on LinkedIn and on Instagram. So just follow us, see our projects, and yeah, we're looking forward to receive some interests.